Ryan Hale entered the medical bay with slow steps, the soft lights above reflecting on the clean, white floor. He had just finished his shift outside, where the soldiers were gathering supplies and repairing equipment after the large battle earlier that day. His uniform was still dusty, but his hands were clean and steady, the way he always kept them. Most soldiers walked with loud footsteps and heavy voices, but Ryan was different. He walked as if noise itself bothered him. The medical station was quiet tonight. Only a few nurses were checking patients, adjusting small machines, or organizing medical tools. The mixed smell of antiseptic and alien herbs filled the air. Ryan breathed in softly, feeling his calm return after a long day. He was not a doctor or a nurse. He was a soldier assigned to support the station because they needed extra hands after the battle. Most soldiers disliked this work. They complained it was slow, boring, too gentle for them. But Ryan never complained. He felt comfortable here, where he could help without fighting. Nurse Nerali noticed him entering. She was from a small alien species with soft green skin and 2 long antennae that twitched when she was worried. She waved him over with a tired smile. "You arrived at the right time," she said. "We just received an important patient." Ryan straightened. "What happened?" "A shuttle came from the nearby battlefield. They brought someone special." Nerali looked around as if checking no one else was listening. "The princess of the Violorian Empire." Ryan blinked. A princess. He had heard of the Violorians, a proud and old species whose empire stretched across many star systems. Their leaders rarely left safe zones. If a princess had been injured, then the battle must have been worse than he thought. "Is she badly hurt?" Ryan asked. Nerali nodded. "She lost consciousness on the shuttle. She has wounds on her arm and back. The doctors are busy with other emergency cases, so we need someone to check her injuries immediately." She looked up at Ryan, her antennae twitching slightly. "I would do it, but her biology reacts better to a human touch for this kind of wound." Ryan did not question it. He simply said, "I will help." Nerali led him toward a private room at the back of the bay. The door opened with a soft sound, and Ryan stepped inside. The room was dim and quiet. A single medical lamp shone above the bed, where a small figure lay still. She was the princess, though she did not look like a royal at that moment. Her long silver hair, normally braided in formal style, was spread around her head. Her pale blue skin looked even paler under the medical light. She wore light armor that had been cut open in places to reach the wounds. Ryan approached slowly. He could see faint marks on her cheeks, as if she had been crying before losing consciousness. He felt something tighten in his chest. She looked fragile, not like the proud leaders he had heard about in stories. Nerali handed him a pair of gloves and pointed to the tray beside the bed. "Everything you need is here. Clean the wounds, check for hidden damage, and make sure the medicine reacts correctly. I will monitor her vital signs." Ryan nodded. His hands were steady as he put on the gloves. He moved beside the bed and leaned slightly over the princess. For a moment, he simply watched her breathing. Her chest rose and fell softly, her fingers twitching slightly as if she was dreaming. He gently touched the edge of the wound on her arm with a small tool. The princess reacted with a weak flinch, even in her unconscious state. Ryan murmured softly without thinking, "It's all right. I will be careful." Nerali watched him with curious eyes. She expected a soldier to be rough, fast, and careless. That was how most humans acted when asked to assist. But Ryan was quiet and patient. He moved as if he had all the time in the world. He cleaned the wound slowly, avoiding any pressure on the bruised areas. He checked for any broken fragments from her armor and removed them with gentle precision. When he applied the medicine, he made sure it did not spread too fast or too deep. His touch was steady, almost soft. After a few minutes, Nerali spoke with surprise in her voice. You are too careful for a soldier. Ryan glanced at her, a bit confused. Is that a bad thing? No, she said with a warm smile. It is surprising. I expected you to rush or to treat her like a task, but you treat her as if she is delicate. She is injured, Rian replied simply. Anyone would be delicate in this state. Nirali stared at him for a moment, then nodded slowly. She began to understand why some nurses liked working with him. Ryan continued his work, now checking the wound on the princess's back. It was deeper than the one on her arm. He leaned close, careful not to cause her any discomfort. Her breathing changed slightly, as if she could sense his presence even in sleep. Ryan felt the warmth of her skin under his gloves. He noticed tiny marks that looked like patterns, almost like faint glowing lines. Her species often had natural markings, but these seemed more detailed. He wondered if they had cultural meaning, but he did not touch them. He finished cleaning the wound, then applied the special gel that Nirali had prepared. The gel reacted slowly, letting out a soft blue glow that matched the princess's skin color. Her breathing became steadier, and her body relaxed slightly. You did well, Nirali said. She is healing. Rian stepped back a little. His eyes rested on the princess's peaceful face. For a woman of royal blood, she looked surprisingly young, maybe close to his age. Without her royal clothing or formal expression, she seemed almost like someone he could meet in an ordinary life. What happened to her? Ryan asked. Nirali sighed. We do not have the full report yet, but her ship was hit by unexpected fire. She insisted on helping the injured soldiers on board. She was not supposed to fight, but she chose to stay instead of retreating. Ryan looked at the princess again. He respected that. Many leaders hid when danger came, but she stayed. A soft sound came from the princess. Her hand moved slightly. Ryan leaned closer, thinking she might be waking, but her eyes remained closed, though her lips parted as if she was whispering something. He could not understand the words, but they sounded gentle, almost pleading. Ryan reached out and adjusted the blanket covering her. He spoke quietly, hoping she could hear. You are safe now. Rest. Nirali watched him again with that curious expression. She had worked with humans for years, but rarely met one like him. She wondered if the princess would feel the same when she awoke. Hours passed slowly. Ryan stayed beside the princess, checking her temperature, adjusting the medicine levels, and making sure her breathing remained steady. Nirali left the room several times to assist other nurses, but every time she returned, Ryan was still there, calm and focused. At one point, she said, You can take a break, Rian. I can handle things now. It's all right, he replied softly. I want to make sure she stabilizes. Most soldiers would have left the moment their task was done, but Ryan remained, as if protecting her was part of his duty. As the night moved on, the princess finally stirred again. Her fingers curled slightly, then her eyes slowly opened. They were soft violet, glowing faintly under the medical light. The first thing she saw was Ryan. He froze for a moment, unsure of what to say. Her eyes focused slowly, moving from his face to his hands and then back to his face. She looked confused, tired, but not afraid. Who? Her voice was weak, barely a whisper. Who are you? I am Ryan, he said gently. A human soldier assisting the medical team. You are safe here. Her eyes moved again, staring at him with a peaceful curiosity. She seemed to sense something in his voice, something steady and warm. You, she whispered. You were careful. Ryan felt a small warmth spread through him. I did not want to cause you pain. The princess blinked slowly, as if trying to stay awake. She studied his face again, and for a moment her expression softened. She looked at him not as a soldier, not as a stranger, but as someone she already trusted. Her eyes closed again, but this time she fell asleep calmly, without tension or fear. Nirali stepped closer and whispered, "She feels safe with you. That is rare for her kind." Ryan did not know how to respond. He only looked at the princess, feeling a quiet responsibility settle in his heart. For the rest of the night, he remained beside her bed. He monitored every small change, every breath, every twitch. The room stayed warm and peaceful, almost like a shelter away from the chaos outside. Ryan did not realize it yet, but tonight was the beginning of something none of them expected. The gentle care he gave the princess would slowly change how she saw humans, how she saw soldiers, and how she saw him. And when morning arrived, their paths would no longer be separate. Ryan woke early the next morning, even though he had hardly slept. He had rested in a chair beside the princess's bed, keeping watch through the night. The soft hum of the medical machines continued calmly, and the early lights of the station brightened the room little by little. Princess Lethira was still asleep, but her breathing was smoother now. Her color had returned to a gentle shade of blue, and her expression was peaceful instead of strained. Ryan felt relieved. He stood up slowly and stretched, trying not to disturb her. Nurse Nirali entered the room carrying a small tablet. She smiled when she saw Ryan awake. "You stayed all night," she said softly. "That was not required, but it helped her." Ryan shrugged lightly. She was in pain. It did not feel right to leave. Nirali checked the princess's vitals and nodded with satisfaction. "Her recovery rate increased during the night. That usually happens when a Valorian feels safe. They heal faster with emotional calm." Ryan looked at the princess again. She felt safe here. "More with you than with me," Nirali said with a teasing tone. "Maybe humans have a calming effect on her." Ryan did not answer. He did not know what to say. He simply checked her bandages again, adjusting them with the same gentle care as before. After a few minutes, the princess moved slightly, then her eyes opened slowly. The moment she saw Ryan, her eyes softened again, just like they had last night. "You are here," she whispered. "Yes," Ryan replied calmly. "How do you feel?" She blinked at the light, then looked at her arm and back. "Better. Much better than before." Nirali stepped forward and gave her a welcoming smile. "Your body is healing well, Princess Lethira. You should be fully recovered soon." The princess looked at Nirali, then back at Ryan. "He took care of me, did he not?" Nirali laughed softly. "Better than most trained healers, I would say." A faint hint of color rose on Lethira's cheeks. "Thank you," she said to Ryan. Ryan did not know how to respond to the gratitude of a royal, so he simply nodded. "I am glad you are safe." Lethira tried to sit up, but a sharp pain made her wince. Ryan reacted quickly and supported her back with one steady hand. Her breath caught, and she looked up at him with wide eyes. "You do not have to push yourself," Ryan said softly. "Take it slow." His voice was calm, and his hand was warm even through the glove. Lethira relaxed against him for a moment, trusting his support. Then she steadied herself. After she settled, Nirali handed her a small cup of medicine. Lethira took it carefully, still glancing at Ryan from time to time, as if checking that he had not left. When the princess finished drinking, Ryan helped her lean back again. She watched his every move, studying him the way someone studies a rare creature. "You are different from the soldiers I have seen," she said quietly. Ryan looked up, surprised. "How so?" "You are gentle," she replied. "Your kind is known for strength, speed, and loud confidence. But you are calm, patient, and your hands—" She hesitated, searching for the right words. "Your hands move with care, not force." Ryan looked away, not used to such direct comments. I try to help in the way I can. Lethira smiled faintly. You do more than try. The room fell into a soft silence. The princess did not speak again for a while, but her eyes stayed on him, almost thoughtful. Later that morning, a message arrived for Nirali. She read it quickly, and her antennae tightened with concern. Ryan, she said softly, there is a problem. Ryan turned at once. What is it? Word has spread that the princess is alive, Nirali said. Some people may try to enter the station to reach her. We must increase security. Lethira stiffened. My enemies want to capture me. They believe my current weakness makes me a useful target. Rian moved a little closer to her bed. You will not be captured, not while you are here. Nirali nodded. The medical station has strong defenses. But the entrance area is not the safest. We need someone to stay with the princess at all times, someone she trusts. Lethira looked directly at Ryan. Her voice was soft but firm. I trust him. Nirali smiled. Then it is settled. Ryan, you are assigned as her personal guard until further notice. Ryan blinked. I am only trained as a soldier, not as a royal guard. But you are the one she trusts, Nirali replied. That is more valuable right now than any title. Rian looked at the princess, and she gave him a small nod. He felt something settle inside him, a kind of quiet responsibility he could not ignore. That afternoon, Rian stayed near the princess's room while she rested. He did not stand rigid like typical guards. Instead, he sat beside her, reading a data pad while keeping one ear alert to every sound. Lethira watched him with growing curiosity. At one point, she asked, Do you not get bored sitting here? Rian shook his head. No. Protecting someone gives me purpose. Her eyes softened at his words. Most soldiers I know prefer action, not stillness. Stillness is peaceful, he replied with a small smile. Lethira let out a slow breath. Peace is something my people have not felt in a long time. They talked for a while after that. Lethira told him about her home world, with its silver forests and floating palaces. Ryan told her about Earth's small towns, green fields, and quiet nights. They discovered many differences between their worlds. Yet their conversation flowed naturally. It felt less like princess and soldier, and more like two people curious about each other. As evening arrived, the calm atmosphere began to shift. Ryan noticed it first. The hallway outside became too quiet. The air felt tense, his instincts sharpened. Lethira noticed his posture change. Something is wrong, Ryan stood up. Stay behind me. A moment later, the lights flickered. A soft alarm sounded in the distance. Nirali rushed into the room. Ryan, she whispered urgently. Intruders entered the lower level. They are searching the rooms. Lethira's eyes widened. They are here for me. Ryan moved quickly to her side. Princess, we must move, now! He helped her stand, supporting her as she leaned against him. She was still weak, but she trusted his hold completely. Nirali guided them through a hidden side door that led to a small corridor. This way, she said. There is a secure room nearby. The corridor was dim and narrow. Ryan kept Lethira close, his arm steady around her back. Every sound made him tighten his grip. Suddenly, a shadow appeared at the far end of the hall. Ryan reacted instantly. He stepped in front of the princess and pulled her back behind the corner. Stay here, he whispered. Lethira grabbed his sleeve, fear in her eyes. Please be careful. Ryan gave a small nod. I will. He moved silently, using the dim lighting to his advantage. When the intruder stepped closer, Ryan acted fast. He disarmed the attacker with quick, precise moves, using strength only when needed. He pushed the man to the ground and secured him without making loud noise. When Ryan returned, Lethera stared at him with a mixture of relief and awe. "You fight differently," she whispered. "Not wild, not angry, focused." "I fight to protect," Ryan replied. "Not to harm." They continued down the corridor until they reached the secure room. It was small, but strong, with reinforced walls. Ryan helped Lethera sit on a cushioned seat. Her breathing was unsteady from the fear and effort. "You are safe now," Ryan said. She looked up at him, her eyes shining faintly. "I felt safe the moment you stood in front of me." Ryan felt a warm, heavy emotion rise in his chest, something he had not felt in years. He sat beside her, close enough that she could lean on him if she needed. Minutes passed slowly. The alarm outside continued, but the intruders did not reach them. Ryan stayed alert, watching the door while Lethera watched him. After a long silence, she spoke softly. "Ryan, may I ask something?" "Of course." "Why do you help me so much you do not know me?" "You owe me nothing." Ryan thought for a moment, then answered honestly. "Because you needed someone, and because helping someone makes me feel human." Lethera stared at him with gentle eyes. "Then I am grateful you are human." Her voice was so sincere that Ryan felt his heart pull slightly. She leaned her head lightly against his shoulder, exhausted from stress and pain. He let her rest there, keeping perfectly still so she could feel safe. When the alarms finally stopped, Nirali arrived with relief on her face. "The intruders have been captured. You two can return now." But the moment had already changed something between Ryan and Lethera. They both knew it. Back in her room, Lethera looked at Ryan with calm determination. "When I return to my empire, I want you to come with me, not as a servant or as a simple guard. As the one I trust most." Ryan felt a strange, steady excitement inside him. "If that is where you need me, I will go." Her smile was soft and warm. "Then this is only the beginning, Rian Hale." And in that quiet medical room, far from the battlefield, a new bond formed between a gentle human soldier and a brave alien princess, a bond that neither empire nor danger could break. If you want, I can write the next story, outline, or title you give.